The examples you're about to analyze will give you the chance to practice perceiving bias using the 4 characteristics. We will look at 2 paragraphs from high school textbooks in the 1980s, one from China and one from the US. Hit pause while you read the first paragraph and analyze for bias. Did you notice the words in red? There are some interesting word choices here, clearly meant to imply negativity about capitalism, Hong Kong, how the US got Chinese workers to come to the US, and how they treated them once they were here. You would need to learn more about this time period to be able to say whether these word choices are biased or generally accepted as fair assessment of what really happened. But the important first step is that you do notice those choices. It would also flesh out your understanding if you knew the relationship between China and the US at the time of publication. That would be the historical context. Now pause to read and analyze this paragraph. Did you notice the words and phrases in red? The first thing you might notice is that the Chinese immigrants are framed from the beginning as victims. They now have our sympathy and we are on their side. The language about how the Chinese workers were asked to come here is quite different from the entice of the previous example. Also, there is some definite positive connotation going on in descriptions of their work. Think about this in your own information output. Is there a social responsibility to reframe the contribution of a person or people if society has previously slighted that contribution? Something to think about. Notice at the end the phrase ill feeling is used to describe a situation that led to murder. Is this attempting to be too neutral? Think about these things for your own writing and speaking. Finally, the title of the textbook, The Triumph of the American Nation, is a good reminder to those of us that grew up in the US that no country is immune to a little propaganda in training their youth. Now that you've practiced, look on all other sources you encounter and the sources you produce with an eye to how the characteristics of bias are emphasized, hidden, or work to be overcome.